the input they got from the public. In other words, the final permit was a little bit different than the draft permit they issued last.
And if you remember, as part of my testimony, when they, just before they left, I thanked them for coming to our community to give that hearing. There has been no submittal of a stormwater runoff permit. And you say that, and tell me if I'm wrong, I know you will. You say that that is because they're waiting to see if all the other permits are given so that they could basically have a go?
That's not my understanding, and Ms. Merrill testified about that. But my understanding is you get your operating permit, and that establishes how you're going to do things on the site, and how you're going to grade things, and with that, you can now determine how your stormwater drain plan will be, because until you got your actual contours done, all you need to do is you submit that, and I believe it has been submitted as part of the operating permit, another form of application, and I believe that Ms. Merrill testified that when you're ready to go, that you can give a notice of intent to change. Actually, that's something that yet, because it's quite a ways off and it's actually being in.
And that seems to be putting the cart way before the horse. If they receive a permit to operate a Class 1 landfill, and then they look at how they're going to handle the stormwater. Mr. Frankovich, a month ago, the site was underwater.
Well, first off, I don't know if that's right or not.
That's right.
I can show you pictures.
Well, the pictures I've seen are not of the subject, so I'm not sure.
I can show you some of
But I don't know if it's the cart or the horse. I know that that's part of the operating process, and you might want to suggest that the NDP, they're not doing it, but it's my opinion, that's the way.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, my question would be on the same lines as Commissioner Fran's way, but dealing with the water permit. Where are they obtaining their information for that?
Water permit?
Well, the
Stormwater.
No.
You're talking about underground water, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Dealing with the part of contamination of water and stuff, where are they getting their information for that?
well, that information was prepared by the consultant as part of the operating permit application. And that's the key component of that application, because under the state standards, it does not allow any landfill to degrade ground. So that's part of that permit that's been pending 2 years almost exactly today within the DEP.
So they're receiving information from the land on that. What other entity are they going to get information that's been studied from outside?
That I don't know. I know that they have their own experts in-house that are very familiar with those processes that review those. Whether they get third-party consultants or not, I do not know. I do know that they were contacted, and the only reason I know that is we were reading this late as last week, that they had input from USGS on the study that was prepared in USGS, which come out since the Planning Commission. I mean, we're on the record here. So I don't know what all the sources they use, but they review it at least internally with their own.
So in your opinion, what's this hang up right now? Why haven't we received anything?
My opinion of the hang-up is that the state is concerned about the application from the standpoint of the depth of groundwater, which we discussed many times. They have standards that they need to approve it if it's less than 100 feet. This is 60 feet. And they are being very, very tough on that. And I think that's one thing. I think the other hang-up was that they have, when the petitions came down and we got sued, I think this got put on that for 2 years is a long period of time for the permit to end. But I would give them the benefit of that, saying I think they're being extra careful because of the decision.
Okay, does the head of NDP have the right to override? If the water depth isn't proper, do they have the right to override that and without a permit anyway.
Oh, certainly. I mean, what the statute, the regulation says is if you have a depth run or less than 100 feet, it requires an NDE approval. Well, that really means very little because if it's more than 100 feet, you need NDE approval either. You need one way or the other. But they obviously are taking a much closer look at this one because of the less than 100.
Okay. Second question, and I don't know if you can answer this or not, but when certain companies come to an area, they do a research of the public to see if this fits the public. Has any of this research been done on this project?
Well, I think you heard Mr. McGrath testify that they hired a consultant to do a siting location before they filed the application. We set the criteria as far as soil status, location, railroad, and all of that. Beyond that, before they filed their special use permit application or conditional use permit application, I don't know that they did any community work other than I know that they met with staff extensively of what's going to be required in this application what we want. And then we had the planning commission hearing in April of 2007, that was public notice, and there was no opposition at all. And actually been operating under that perception until about this time.
Yeah. But I can think of companies that will come into an area and do a study of the area to see if it fit the area, if they can profit from it, and whether the people will accept it.
Well,
None of that is done on this, right?
well, I don't know if there was any study like that, and they certainly did a study to determine whether it would be profitable.
Yeah. Yeah, I realize that.
Whether it has local acceptance when you go through a public approval process and you get no opposition, I don't know. I would say though, since the public opposition has arisen, they certainly have been active in the community with people working to convince other people that this is good. Should have been doing that the last year.
Well, if you could call it a plus, which I don't know if you can call it a plus, but this has brought the public into issues that, because up until this point, we do not have a public comment. This has made the public aware, and I imagine this public's going to be aware of what's going on in this county for a long time to come.
I can't
And
disagree with that.
so, and that's human nature to go about your life and not pay attention. But I think this one caught the public, and they caught it late. But to me, a project like this should have more than just going through the normal procedure.
Well,
And that-
I
that's-
think
that's-
whose
okay.
fault is that? I mean, you have
Well,
processes to go through that.
Yeah, it's everybody's fault. Both sides of the table on this thing. It's everybody's fault, but that is one thing that I would think would have been a major thing, that we would have had some kind of public study of the issue. Okay, that was it. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We're going to take a 10-minute break.